What's up, y'all? I said, what's up, y'all? Look at me when I'm talking to you, bro. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, man. This your boy Knockout Boxing 86 TV, and we in here. So check this out, bro. Before we get going on our video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, share the video, turn on your notifications, and go follow me on Twitter at KOBoxing86TV. If you got a breakdown or you got a prediction that you want me to do, knockoutboxing86 at yahoo.com is my email address. And don't forget about our live shows. Live every Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm live every Sunday morning with the Singing OG KQKC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Give me a minute. But let's go ahead and get it popping and get into our video. And today, the ball done finally dropped. It's official. I don't care what y'all tell me. We gonna chop it up in this video and let y'all know why Terence Bud Crawford is a duck, bro. He an absolute duck. He a capper, he a liar, and it done all came out. It done all came out, and I'm glad this stuff is starting to come out. Shit is starting to hit the fan, and we all know now, if you're paying attention, if you're being objective, if you're analyzing the situation with sound logic and trying to make sense of it, Terence Bud Crawford just absolutely positively ducked Errol Spence. He never wanted to fight him. He never had any intention of truly making this fight happen, and he is the one that's trying to wait Errol Spence out, hoping that his problems will move up to 154. But let's talk about the announcement. So Terence Bud Crawford is going to be fighting David Avanesyan on December the 10th. This is what Terence Bud Crawford had to say about his upcoming fighters. He announced it to ESPN. And we're going to go through all the smoke and mirrors, bro. All of it. So I don't know how long this video going to be, but we cooking on this shit, bro. Let me see. So Terence Crawford says, I'm excited about this opportunity. I was really looking forward to the Errol Spence fight. I started communicating with Al Haymon and PBC back in June, and unfortunately, they represent a fighter in Errol Spence who didn't want the fight as bad as I did. I agreed to all of their BS, and they've been dragging their ass for months. Spence was nowhere to be found while I was trying to make the deal. I explained to Al Haymon and Errol that I was going to fight before the end of the year. David Avanesyan is a very tough task. He's knocked out his last 6 opponents, and the guy is dangerous. Once I'm successful against Avanesyan, my plan is still the same: whoop Errol Spence's ass. Spence, when he heard about the fight, this is what Errol had to say about the whole situation. He says, I don't know who Avanesyan is. I've done everything that I said I was going to do, and I'll fight him next, and we'll see who's holding the fight up. Everybody sees now who is holding the fight up. He had this fight in his back pocket, I guess in his back pocket. He said also, they asked him about being at the division too long. He says, I got to talk to my manager, but I already told them I'm at this weight too long. I might be moving up. I don't know. I might be moving up. So let's break all this shit down, right? Because, see, people will just say, and I know the excuses, but I'm finna really just dig in on this shit. And I'm really finna pop some shit to y'all that's irrefutable, that you ain't gonna be able to really mess with. And if anybody want to try, we got the TKO debate series. So in this topic in particular, if you believe that Terence Crawford is not ducking Errol Spence, because I'm calling him a duck at this point. If you think I'm wrong, bro, get out my comments, get out your own lives, get out your own videos, and come see me on my debate series. You can bring all the judges. You can pick every single judge, bro. And I will cook you, because the facts do not lie. Logic never fails, bro. But let's talk about it. Point number 1. Terence Bud Crawford said that he agreed to everything. He said that in his statement. But if you agreed to everything, why were you asking for them to make revisions to the contract? If you agreed to everything that's in a contract, why do revisions need to be made? If you agree to everything, why do you have to send shit to somebody for them to have to make changes? If you agree to everything, that is the opposite of agreeing to everything. If you get a contract and you ask for people to change shit in it, then you ain't agreeing to everything. Cap, lies, fraud, bro. Now let's talk about negotiating in good faith. Because, see, what Terence Crawford and his team and his fans, what you don't want to talk about is that if he was ever truly serious about making this fight with Errol Spence happen, Why was he negotiating with David Avanesyan at the same time? Because he just got a $10 million to fight David Avanesyan on the Black Lives Matter, Black Prime, whatever it is, app. But that deal didn't come together yesterday. That deal didn't come together the day before yesterday. He had been in talks with Errol Spence and his team since June, trying to make a fight happen. He been in talks with David Avanesyan in his camp, what, at least a couple of weeks? I mean, how quick can you put a deal like this together? So how are you negotiating in good faith if you are trying to make another fight at the same time? How are we to say that you were ever serious about making the Errol Spence fight and this wasn't the plan all along, bro? This shit been the plan all along. That's why your ass been stalling. And you notice when Errol Spence said he been stalling the fight for months, Terence Crawford never responded to it. Instead, he just announced the fight. Instead of responding and saying, I do want the fight, this is what I want, but y'all is doing this, y'all is doing that. Instead of responding, he just announced the fight. He just announced the fight. The same guy that told us, his team, Bomac, told us that Terence Crawford didn't sign on the line to fight Manny Pacquiao because they wanted to make sure the money was there and they ain't know the money was there. But all of a sudden, you trust a startup app that ain't never had a fight, they ain't never did any business in boxing. Now you trust, you'll sign on the dotted line and you trust that they got the 10 million. But you didn't trust the ESPN deal and the Top Rank deal with Manny Pacquiao. And remember, you were suing Top Rank. You suing them, but then you go announce your fight through their network. But you were serious about fighting Errol Spence, though. You announced your fight with David Avanesyan through ESPN, who is the network of the same people that you suing. But I'm supposed to take you serious that you ever really wanted this Errol Spence fight. The contradiction on top of contradiction on top of contradiction, just crazy, bro. And people told me to boycott Errol Spence versus Yordenis Ugas for fighting champions. They didn't like the Ugas fight because he wasn't fighting Bud. So they said that you should boycott it until we get the fight that we want. Are you same people going to say today that we should boycott Terence Crawford versus David Avanesyan? Should we boycott that fight? Because it's a voluntary defense against a European champion. Crawford a duck, bro. He a duck, fam. Like he is ducking out on this fight. Oh, but knockout, he getting a bigger bag. He getting 10 million. You think that somehow makes him look good? You think the fact that he is literally saying, forget my legacy, forget the better fight, forget the tougher fight, I'm just going to go chase this bag. That somehow make him look good and not like a duck? If you ain't fighting top competition for whatever reason, it's a duck, bro. That's what some of y'all tell me. And furthermore, y'all keep talking this lowball shit, but can't nobody tell me what PBC is offering. Can't nobody tell me what they offer for the fight. All I know is one person in Errol Spence Jr. never wavered. When other fights came up, he said, nah, I'm good. The only fight I want, y'all know what I want. Keith Thurman came up, he ain't talking about that shit. But what you hear from Bud, he talking about Jermell Charlo, he talking about Errol Spence, and then he had this shit right here in his back pocket the whole time, bro. Oh, but knockout, see, bro, y'all said he had to bend his knee. Y'all said that Terence Crawford didn't have options. But he proved to y'all that he had options. I said all his other options were bad options. I said his only other option, if he didn't fight Errol Spence, was probably to fight some lesser opponent, some bum that we don't want to see him fight. And I'd be goddamn if that ain't exactly what he did, bro. That's exactly what that man did. The same man, bro, that had been running around this whole time, 50-50. 50-50, no fight. It should be 60-40 my way. I'm past the fight. I don't want the fight. Sometimes you just let fights pass you by. Well, his actions done caught up to him, and he finally showed y'all with his words that he don't care if the fight pass him by, bro. He ducking, man. He ducking. He never was negotiating in good faith. Now that we know the details, how in the hell you don't respond to somebody that you supposedly want this fight? You supposedly want this fight. They send you a revised contract to make changes that you wanted. You don't respond for weeks. You know why he didn't respond? Because his lawyer was too busy looking at the contract for the David Avanesyan fight. That's why he ain't respond, bro. Keep that shit real. That's why he didn't have time, and his lawyers didn't have time to respond to PBC accordingly, to respond to the contract accordingly, because they were too busy working on this other deal with David Avanesyan. And you same dudes that was mad at Earl for unifying, now you capping for Bud Crawford today. Now you capping for him, telling me shit like, well, until we know what PBC was offering, we can't call it a duck, because they was lowballing Terence Bud Crawford. They was lowballing him. Based off of what? Based off of who? Mike Coppinger? The same Mike Coppinger that told us that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford was done, like multiple times. It was done for September, October, November, December. Ain't no way in hell that you can escape this, bro. There's no way in hell you can escape it. There's no go around here. I don't want to hear shit about no business of boxing. I don't want to hear shit about no low ball, because can't none of y'all tell me what that man was being offered. And this is the same man that said, if you believe in yourself and you truly want to prove that you're the best, you may take a little less. He say that shit, but then he been trying to just get bag after bag after bag at every turn for the least amount of competition possible, bro. He literally looked at David Avanesyan and said, I can get $10 million to fight this bum. Bet. Forget Errol Spence. Forget my legacy. Forget undisputed in 2 separate weight classes. Forget all that shit. I'm going to go fight this bum over here. Oh, man, but they doing that because PBC and Earl and them, they wasn't trying to make the fight happen till February. They wasn't trying to make the fight happen till February, so he got to stay active. He got to stay active. He had to get a fight in this year. That's what y'all going to tell me. But he the one that's been stalling. They had to keep pushing the fight back because he won't sign shit, bro. The man is telling y'all, his team is telling y'all that he agreed to everything without signing nothing. They telling you that he agreed to everything while he's still asking for more shit. And y'all believe it. You run with it. You make it seem like that shit is the gospel, bro, when it don't make no sense. And the fact that some of you dudes is happy about this shit, like people are literally like happy, ha ha, Bud got the bag. Ha ha, Bud, he's shitting on the PBC. Bud, let him know. I thought he wasn't a draw. I thought he wasn't a draw. He got $10 million for Avanesyan. Who needs who? Who needs who? The same dude in the same fan base that was complaining about Bud Crawford fighting on the app, and that's why he didn't sell. Now y'all excited that he back on the app. There's an even lesser app than ESPN Plus, an app that ain't nobody ever heard of, a startup company. Miss me with that shit, bro. This man is ducking Errol Spence Jr. in as clear as day, and I'm disappointed. Cause I ain't think he was no duck. I thought he wanted to fight as bad as Earl, but I've been proven wrong today. I've been proven wrong. And now we ain't never gonna get this fight, bro. I'm telling y'all right now. This shit might come back around when they both way past their prime. Errol Spence fucking 36, 37 years old, and Bud Crawford 38, 39 years old, and we might get the fight then, bro. We ain't getting this fight, man. Boxing has let us down. More specifically, Terence Bud Crawford let us down, bro. He was doing all that capping, all that talking, all that barking, all of that shit, only to go chase a lesser opponent and get what he feels is an easy ass bag. Because he never wanted to fight Earl, bro. And he slipped up. And people told me he slipped up, but I gave his ass the benefit of the doubt, bro. I gave it to him. When he said that bullshit, yeah, that fight is going to happen down the line. I mean, not down the line. It's going to happen like in the near future. It's going to happen next. He told off on himself. He told off on himself right there with that quote, but I let it slide and shit. Maybe he misspoke. Bud ain't the smartest. He ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Turns out he really did mean maybe that fight going to happen down the line because he already had this shit in line. You don't negotiate no $10 million deal. You don't negotiate no $10 million deal and shit, and it happened overnight. Man, he been negotiating this shit while he supposedly was negotiating with Errol Spence. That's what let me know the shit was part of the plan and it was a duck and he never wanted to fight. Why you negotiating at the same time? You supposed to be negotiating the biggest fight in boxing. The biggest fight of this decade is what he called it. The biggest fight of this decade. That's what you're supposed to be negotiating. But you got time to have your eyes somewhere else and be working on some other shit at the same time, but you're not ducking. And the dude that you fighting, like, I need everybody to understand this shit, bro. The dude that he is fighting, David Avanesyan, because I really do this, and I know who David Avanesyan is. Y'all realize that David Avanesyan got his ass knocked out by the guy that Terence Crawford already knocked out, bro? Y'all do know that shit, right? David Avanesyan got his ass knocked out by Mean Machine, who got his ass knocked out by Terence Crawford. That's who he fighting, bro. Instead of fighting Earl. This man had an offer on the table to fight Earl, an offer on the table to fight David Avanesyan, and he took David Avanesyan over Errol Spence for Undisputed, bro. He turning down Undisputed, and he doing the shit for less money on the pay-per-view side than he ever did it for, bro. The fight gonna cost $39, bro. They done already negotiated the venue. We know that the fight is in Omaha, Nebraska. They got the purses set. They got everything set already, and y'all mean to tell me that this man ever truly wanted the Errol Spence fight? He was negotiating with fucking he was negotiating with Avanesyan the whole time. Nah, bro, that man ducking. You can't. There ain't no way around it. The same dude that didn't want to sign to fight Manny Pacquiao because Bo Mac told him not to sign because they ain't know where the money was coming from. They ain't getting no proof of funds and shit. But now you believe that BLK Prime and shit, somebody with no fighters, no business in boxing, ain't never did an event before. Now all of a sudden they got 10 million for you. And dudes is capping for this shit, bro. If you capping for this shit, if you ain't blaming Bud Crawford today, if you ain't calling him a duck, if you making excuses for him, come see me, please. Because it's just the surface level shit. This man never wanted to fight Earl, bro. And I didn't want to say it. But now I'm on that bandwagon too. So it's smoking. It's up for everybody, bro. When it comes to this boxing talk shit. If you capping for Bud right now, bro, you're wrong, fam. You wrong. This man lying to y'all at every turn, bro. He done lied to y'all, told y'all Errol Spence was ducking him, then he said he ain't ducking him. He said that Bob Arum was a good guy, but then he blamed Bob Arum and sued his ass. He said the fight was past him, but then he wanted to fight. But then the fight was past him, but then he wanted to fight. He did all this shit to his fans, bro. Pulling the wool over your eyes. And y'all get mad at people like me that's telling you that he pulling the wool over your eyes. And you keep capping for him. And now here we are today. This man done let y'all know that he been negotiating a fight that nobody knew about, that nobody cares about, that nobody wants to see. He been negotiating this fight the whole time while he was quote unquote supposedly negotiating with Errol Spence, and y'all still cool with it. If you fall for this shit, you fall for anything. That man a duck, he a capper, he a liar, and I don't think we ever getting Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford after this shit. That's what I think. Let me know why I'm wrong, man. Comment down below, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, share the video, turn on your notifications, and go follow me on Twitter at KOBoxing86TV. If you got a breakdown or a prediction, knockoutboxing86 at yahoo.com is the email. Appreciate y'all watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And with that, we out of here. Peace out, y'all.